These countries, 10 countries, are very different and difficult markets still. There are a lot of multinational companies, particularly from Thailand. Out of Thailand, there are a few very good multinational companies, very little understanding of these companies, right? And then they started going global, but still at the very early stage, except Thailand, all 9 countries, out of not that long ago, had this colonial history. They were all controlled by other countries, Spanish, Dutch, US, Japan, and so on. Are there some great companies that we can really take as role models to representing those markets as a sustained high-performing companies? And can you learn something out of it? So that was our inquiry looking into it. So again, we followed the very rigorous sort of steps to identify those companies. We look at top 500 companies, 10 years between 2003 and 2012. They look at the growth and profitability. So we first identify those companies better than the 10-year average of those profit and growth, and so on. And then for other countries like Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, not many companies appear in the statistical book. So we worked with the local experts, Ernst & Young and others, just working with them to identify some of the great high-performing companies. So end up with 58 companies. These companies grew on the annual average for 10 years about 32%, while the other 500 companies in those 6 countries, annual growth was 20%. Profitability was about 12.6%, almost twice as high as other 500 companies. Those 15 companies. These are all companies coming from all different industries. So basically, we interviewed the CEOs and seniors in those companies, all those 10 countries. So let me just share with you the conclusion out of it. What we call these 7 elements. We call it mobilizing institutional grassroots. For MNCs, when you look at this institutional voice, it's a trouble. It's a trouble hard to get over, right? But if you look at every one of those companies, ASEAN Champions, same thing for those 77 in our earlier book in China, India, Russia, Brazil. What they did was taking this institutional voice as their advantages. In just one major conclusion is this: all these companies, these great, sustained, profitable growth companies, deep out of this emerging market they became the institutional intermediaries. Between government, suppliers, and consumers, they filled in the voice. The voice became the opportunities for them. So they developed the resources, they developed the capabilities, they developed the trust from government, suppliers, and consumers to fill in the voice and be the intermediaries. So that's why I call it mobilizing institutional grassroots. In those 10 countries, almost nothing. They start from the grassroots. Institutionally, socially, economically, it's almost no foundation. Most of these companies are what I call institutional legacy built, right? Just growing together with the government, society. You may call it just being at the right time, right? But they are the ones who had the insights to sow the opportunities and deliver the capabilities, gaining the trust of the government. For example, Holcim Cement. See, Manila was the second most sort of bombarded, destroyed cities in the world after World War II. US and Japan bombarded. So they want to just, government starting this development and then realize this tremendous shortage of cement. This company comes up, develop their capability, show that, and then grew together, working with the government, basically filling in the void for the government, and then just based on their continuous capability, upgrading innovation, gaining government trust, and then being able to work together along the way. Sumit Odawai, those other companies in Thailand. In Thailand, in the 80s, they changed the local component requirement from the 20% to 75%. When that happened, nobody could do that, could deliver it. So Japanese companies came in after the yen value went up. So they came together and working together, and this one local company, learning from Japanese companies, US companies, acquire some of them, established capabilities, boom. In the eyes of the government, they are the champion. Same thing, there's a Laos starting the development, and then they want to figure out, what can we export? Is there anything you can create value? Of course, agriculture was the only thing they had. But agriculture, what? So this company, Dow Hong, spent 8 years to learn about coffee growing from Vietnam, and then convince the government this is where we can do better than many other countries. So they deliver the capabilities, and then government offer full support with that. So basically having the mindset and growing together with the government, and then feeling the needs whenever the government saw the needs. In Philippines, most of the universities are Catholic or government run. Very traditional. And Far Eastern University was the first private, publicly listed universities. The Philippines was growing, but there's no accounting capability. So, okay, we'll deliver accounting capability. Create a school simply based on accounting. About 7-8 years later, Philippines was growing fast with the medical service. They realized there was no medical school. So it was the first school. Immediately went to the government, hey, we can do it. Few years later, the Philippines was growing in the IT sector. No school was delivering the capability. This was the first one, right? So this was the first element. And the second, leveraging market power. To some extent, many of them got very natural monopoly. Or many times, these company champions were the first mover in many of those markets. And then again, once they grabbed the opportunities, building their capabilities always followed. Like a Phnom Penh water supply. In Phnom Penh, in the entire city, only 20% of the people got water. And out of the 20%, 80% of them were stolen. No meter, nothing. So government just could not function. So this company came in, developed the capability, entire sort of a system developed, monitoring, measuring, and assured to be delivered. Then, for the government, this is the champion along the way. And they got just almost natural monopoly from their own. Philippines, this PLDP, Philippines started a lot of telecom companies, but every island has its own system, could not communicate each other. Government couldn't do anything. So this company came out, found a way, linking all these, and then leveraging out of it, right? Mention, Vietnamese people did not drink milk. It was not one of the main products in the earlier years. So Mason wanted to introduce, and the government wanted to do that. This is for the welfare of the people and so on. So Mason just started by simply adding vanilla taste. So to create the market. Anyhow, their effort of creating a new market and sort of a milk consumption grow from half a gallon to 18 gallons in just a few years. And so on. Sort of work with the governments, having natural monopolies, or early movers, first movers, and having this market power. These are the reasons that MNCs could not penetrate in their markets. You'll see, McDonald's could not get into Jollibee's. The third one is their marketing strategy. Keen sense of understanding the market trends. It's a very unsettled, fledgling market. These leaders have a good sense of understanding the market and having the right strategies. Time matter. This whole steel market was dominant. This is a commodity. Large companies, only large-scale companies could do it. This company, small entrepreneurial company, start and then differentiate with a high value-added service, more customized steel manufacturing and delivery based on the service, right? And then this Red Bull, this was one of the most profitable growth companies in Thailand. The blue-collar workers, that was the market they decided they would need Red Bull, and so on. And the next one, localization. I'm saying it for local firms, not for multinational firms. Again, this is one area MNCs lack. MNCs, when they talk about localization, it's more limited to economic sense. And then, again, even in China, I've been following this issue, have published many papers, why MNCs run into public crisis so often. They There are hardly any public crises, MNCs, by early 2000. But since 2003 and 4, every year 30, 40, 50 public crises, meaning whatever the mistake, quality mistake, customer problem, it becomes national issue, media ganged up against, and then their market share plummets overnight, half of it, and so on. So more and more, I think this is sort of a serious issue on localization. What they did was integration, not only the right business model, but aligning with the needs for the local people. Let me just talk about one case. Yeah, this one. Indonesian company, Alpha. You may all know Alpha Minimart, right? In Indonesia, it's a very difficult market. In very low-income people, they live far away to go to big supermarkets. So they use this corner store to buy some vegetables and cigarettes and so on. This one little boy started working on just selling cigarettes in the corner. And then they realized there's tremendous value of doing it. So keep adding products. So every corner he started opening this mini mart, highly standardized, just delivering exactly what they need. More than that, it becomes a social gathering place for the village people. They sell airplane tickets, whatever all the people in the neighborhood need. Fully socially integrated, which MNC could not do at all. They then continue their growth through diversification, vertical and horizontal growth, integration, utilizing their synergy. Except this Myanmar's Yoma, all the other cases are what we call very highly related diversification. Everything they diversified very deliberately, looking for related areas, creating synergy. There has been a debate in the academic field regarding emerging market growth model. One argument has been, unlike the US model that emphasizes competence-based related growth, in emerging market, it's okay to pursue unrelated growth. But in our studies, we go totally the opposite. It's the same as US model. You've got to have your competence and build out of it, around it. It's still related diversification, delivering you profitable growth. In most cases, like a global media company, Indonesia is the most dominant media company, content production, delivery, and so on. This company, they kept growing and realized, God, so many businesses today, so one time cut out everything not tied with the core competence, and then reorienting their growth strategies, and so on. And then internationalization. All these leaders, 58, they see ASEAN market, 10-country market as the base, not single country. So by nature, they are, right from the beginning, highly internationalized. Their system, entire supply chain, source of labor force, everything is sort of drawn out of the Asian market. They build a scale out of it. And also, some, like a Thai Union Frozen, this is one of the biggest seafood companies in the world. But again, somehow I picked up all Thailand companies, but they are doing far better in terms of going global. Thai beverage, this is a Chang beer company. Entire Asian market is their market basis. They build their brand, build their scale out of that entire market. So again, internationalization, it has been throughout the whole process and building the additional advantage. And lastly, of course, human capital. Every one of those companies, high-performance organization, without any exception, heavy. When you talk to their CEOs, oftentimes half of the talk is on human capital, because this is the biggest challenge. How do we overcome it? How do we build it? But approaches are very different, right? Lao Brewery, they said it's a highly vertical, at the same time, democratic system being balanced, and they consider that as one of the most critical elements. And then this Soulish Tumor company, and they said they hire only people under 40. So for me, like me, no chance of getting a job there. Why McDonald's couldn't never beat Jollibee's? Went to Manila. It just demolished all the other local food supply, food chains. But Jollibee got stronger, and McDonald's could not compete against Jollibee's. First thing is localizing. really understand the local taste and local needs. So their hamburgers, unlike this very dull American, just tasteless patty, beef patty, their patty is very spicy. And they also have a spaghetti, very sweet. And then they add sausages. Filipinos like sausages. And at the same time, there are people that bring this employees' family value in their corporate operation. So anyhow, so these are all different approaches. So these are some of the key points. I apologize, I ran a bit too quick. Please, that's a reason to read my book. But again, these are the companies still very early stage, except some, but mostly early stage of multinationalization. But this is one reason, and these are the companies we have to pay attention to as we move into next decade.